Yo, what's up guys, Seiishizo over here, and let's look at the new unit. So I got the notepadder over here to be writing a few things down, such as how much lattices do I think we need and all of that kind of good stuff. You know how that works. So let's first look at, so we got a new holo and we got a new, this thing is always so jumpy. New fire red, as I mentioned, very jumpy. Okay, let's look at this dude first. So base speed is 118. That's kind of mediocre. We are looking at a seemingly damage dealer from the looks of it. So let's see. First skill, we have Calamity Flames. Each of Calamity Flames increases true indirect damage added by Flame Strike. Okay. The damage, cannot exceed of the attack. Can stack up to 16 times and it's not dispellable. Okay. Does seem like a pretty solid damage dealer right there. We have a passive in the skill too. Fools never learn. The answer is revealed and there's come blah 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 blah. When Calamity Flame effect scores a crit, it will deal 1 additional damage through indirect damage based on the max HP. Okay, that's seemingly kind of a killer on the tank meta, maybe. After 2 actions, Cardiac will deal 300 damage to all enemies, increase all allies' turn meter by 20%, applies crit up, a crit up, and then 2 more stacks on that himself. Okay, okay. Not too bad, not too bad. We will look at what it goes for, like the skill ups in a second. Skill 3, we have pay up, bleed out, or bleed out. These are the rules. Cardiac releases blazing flames. Crit up to himself for 2 turns, then dealing damage to all enemies, increase the turn meter by 35, his turn meter by 35, and apply Calamity Flames to himself. So it's all about like stacking the Calamity Flame. It's all about critting. It's all about dealing damage. So that is what we have thus far. So what do we have over here? We start off with lower stacks on the S1. So let's first put on Flaming Dude. Flaming Dude is called Kokardi. And then S1, S2, well, let's just do it like S1, S2, S3, and then Lattice, and then let's talk about used where. So, first of all, this one, I definitely do think that this is an angle for a 3. Well, let's actually do it simpler. I would say that he's definitely an angle for 3, so we're gonna 111 is the start. Is he useful? 111. Kind of depends how much stacks this is. Because this could be a 12 stack, this could be a 10 stack, this could be an 8 stack. I would assume a 12-ish. And then the boost is 1.5 over here. Probably that would be starting at a 1 or like a 1.2. So I wouldn't be surprised if in the end you need a 5 over here. Let's also see where the Prowler's thingy goes. We got attack in this, probably then speed in this. Yep, and then crit rate in this. Yep, exactly as that. So then we have this one, multiplier of the Calamity Flames, turn meter effect, that applies stacks is 2 times 4. Oh, so this is if you get a crit, you get 2. not gonna lie, this dude is feeling like a 5/5 to me. So, and this one is more turn meter, more Calamity Flames. I could see you get away, but then again, you get the speed from this one. So, yeah, you definitely need to go. He's, to be honest, a 5/5 to me. Like, similar to Batsby, like, if you use Batsby without 5/5, he doesn't feel as strong. With 5/5, it's a really good, strong damage dealer. So, yeah, I think he can do a good bit of damage because there's a lot of stacking on top of stacking. Is he better than, let's say, a Coloros for PvE? I don't think so. Is he a PvE unit? I don't think so. I think he's going to be more of a PvP unit, but his base stats are not looking that crazy for PvP. So I am not too sure like how great he will be. I can see him maybe go on like a bloodbath scenario where he does do a good bit of damage. So let's say you go for the new shell, the Tiger Yin. So where to use PvP? I would say RTA most likely can be PvE, but Claw maybe better. It's kind of in the middle. Like, if he's 5/5, he's probably better than Claw, but without that, if you already have some investment in Claw, then Claw is probably better for that. So I would say mainly PvP, and then mainly versus bruisers, such as like Fucho / Sanya. I think that is his main like killing potential that he does have. And then for Shell, I would say Tiger Yin on Bloodbath Bulwark plus X. I think that will kind of be maybe the Fury Edge or, well, whatever. Like, to be honest, I would say something like this. I think that he has some decent potential in there for like a bruiser fight. But you definitely have to go a bit on the tanky stats for him as well. Otherwise, I think he would be too squishy. So that's kind of the issue that he might have. He would be very bad into Tiamats. Like, Tiamat would take out this true, like this HP with true damage on the skill 1 very fast. So definitely have to be careful of that. I would rate him an okay. Would I rate him a must pull? No, definitely not. Would I rate him good at 1-1-1? No, I think he's really bad at 1-1-1 because most of the time PvP characters are only good at like as high lattice investment as possible. And that's where you can see for example, Nifonel did very well on a 1-1-1 or a 1-1-4 because she's more PvE focused, and PvE focused doesn't need that much requirement. So in this case, I would say must pull nah, and I would say 1-1-1 usable meh. Like that's pretty much my verdict on this dude thus far. So if it's exactly right as that, I'm not 100% sure, but this is from my first looks looking at this character. Would you need lattices on it to make it work? So let's look at the new unit, and we got a Mizusumi Aya. I'm just gonna call her Aya because I'm lazy like that. We have a 120 base. We have very high HP and defense, not too bad. Where is the speed located? Probably at the 1. Yep, the probably more useless stat, but sure. Another healer seemingly on the hollow. We already got Sanya, we already got Fucho, so I would say that this is kind of sophisticated for healers already. I'm not sure if we really need more healers on this, but let's see what we have. So, skill 1 is performs. The performance is about to begin. Please remain quiet. Nope, don't tell me what to do. Single target, okay, after damage, 25% chance to reduce all enemy skill down. 25% chance is one of those things like, yeah, it's there, but are we going into like Summoners War kind of levels of like, yo, are we gonna RNG the living shit out of yourself? Well, let's see what we have over here. Close your eyes and feel the melody. At the start of each turn, purify 1 debuff from all allies and heal for 15% of their max HP upon a successful purification. So only if you purify, you heal. Without purifying, you don't heal. Kind of feels like for Summoners War, SeiiMore kind of vibes-ish. So not too bad. Pretty interesting. Then we have Sound Guide. Listen carefully. These melodies about echo. Yeah, increase the turn meter of all by 40%. Reduce all enemies' shell cooldowns. All enemies and shell skill cooldowns. Okay, so both, yep. Whenever a unit dies, reduces the skill by 2 turns. If the skill has no CD, increases turn meter by 80. Oh, wait, so does that mean that she gains a 80 bar right away, so she will right away use the skill always? What? Is she gonna become like a Valerian instantly using this skill kind of scenario, but then Valerian, rather than this boosting up the whole team? Am I reading that correctly? The skill has no cooldown, increases her turn meter. Yeah, that's at the start of the turn. So at the start of the game, she will immediately get this. That might become like an interesting arena offense unit-ish. Only thing is, she will right away start using this skill, boost up the meter, but don't give this. Kind of gives, like, if we compare it to Summoners War Frigate kind of vibes. So you have lowering cooldown, but you also have that. Cooldown is not super long on this, which is kind of interesting. So yeah, kind of a hard cooldown reducer kind of unit. Interesting-ish. Not too sure how I would really place that in. I could see a world where I could go for this unit plus like Plume plus 2 CC kind of unit. So you go this Plume plus, what's it called? Something along the lines of a Obo plus something else. That could be an option. Like Obo Mio, Obo plus I don't know what. That's okay. She's kind of maybe like the replacement of a Freya and a bunch of defenses or like offenses as well, because you can go her into a Tsukiyomi, into your Messiah, and then shit already dead, right? If it works as it's seeming to be. So let's see how that does look like. So I'm just gonna Mizusumi Aya. I'm gonna be lazy like that. So let's look at a Lattice investment. So Lattice investment, if you do want to make a move first, This skill will probably outboost everything regardless. It probably starts at like a 60-ish by the looks of these numbers. And that would go up to probably... Yeah, they would go 60. The base speed is on the 1, so you kind of have to go for the 1. This probably starts off at a 10. That's really low. Like, it goes to 15 and then it goes to 25. Could be even that it starts off at a 5. That will be really bad. This one is if I can still trigger when unable to act. Oh, so that if you're stunned, you're still cleansing. Oh, that's actually really strong. So I would say that we're looking at a... I would give it a 5-1-1 angle at first. Then probably you transition into a 5-1-4/5 angle. And then you might still want to go for 5-5-5 all the way. But I would say that this is a little bit more optional. This is more for bruiser fights. But I feel like she's not really that much of a bruiser type of unit. That much. But I can definitely see her value. I think she is really strong. So let's say must pull... Yep. Is usable 1-1-1. Yep. I do think she's usable 1-1-1. I would probably recommend to go for some skill ups on her, but I think she is usable 1-1-1. And then let's say, where do we use her? PvE? Nah. But Cage Rumble. I think she's really good in Cage Rumble because of cooldown decreasing on skill 1 is always goated in Cage Rumble. Can't really go wrong on that. Would I see her being used in Doki Doki, Terramaton, Aurora, or any of that kind of shit? No. Only Cage Rumble is actually my first view of it. PvP can be defense, can be off, RTA, can be cleave, can be bruiser. So she's actually really all around. I think that she will become one of those units that I do recommend a lot of people to pull for. Right away skill ups. I always do recommend all of you don't throw all of your lattice at some shit. Wait until some idiotic content creator such as I am, or there's plenty more, make like a first guide video on that, which probably did waste all of their lattices on it because they want to have the first guide with lattices. Wait until that idiot actually did it, and then you go for it's like, do you actually want to use it or not? But I think that she is really good, and I would definitely recommend if you have like 80 pulls laying around, or not even 80 pulls laying around, go for her first, and I would say just get a copy of this one. Neither of them I would recommend to go on hard duplications. You could go for the healing over here in the dupe, which is okay-ish. If you want to go like super hard on a fire damage dealer, then of course like getting the damage in on this dude will help you out a bit more. But in the end, it's not that much of a matter of a dupe. So I would just get like one copy of each and then just see how it goes from there. So interesting units, definitely interesting units. So we have a bunch of new updates, a bunch of new patch, a bunch of new things going on for events starting tomorrow. I'll probably make a video on that tomorrow or something along those lines. I'm not really, because right now we don't have any of those events just going on just yet. Still have to do this one, already missed a few of those. But I'll figure that part out tomorrow. So guys, thanks a lot for watching for this one. Let me know if you're going to be pulling for the 2 new units and are you planning to use those lattices on those. And see you as always in the next one.